Hi, so welcome to the Advanced Pilates class. We're just starting this for the first time online today. And if you're joining us, you want to put your rollers aside. You may want to have a TheraBand nearby, but we're going to start actually moving right into our hundreds. I have to move my cat RJ here, unless I can work around him for a little bit and he'll start to move. So anyway, start sitting up. And then we'll roll back into our upper ab curl. Come back to that best upper ab curl you can find. Fold the knees in, head is up, look at your abs, extend the arms forward, extend the legs out, and take them to a level where you're challenging your abs and pump the arms, inhaling and then exhaling. Ideally, we do 10 sets of these. So 5 beats on the inhale, 5 beats on the exhale for 1 breath. 10 breaths would make 100. You may have noticed I don't necessarily count. I kind of just look to see how everyone's doing. And if their form looks good, maybe you do more. If it looks like you're struggling, you're lucky you get to do less. But we reach out here. The idea of doing this is that we're trying to warm up the whole body, really activating the cardiovascular system so that your body is heated and ready to go for what's to follow. Keep lengthening out through the fingertips. The collarbones stay pretty wide, and that allows you to let the shoulder blades fall behind you so you can rest on the tips of them. If your legs start to bother your back, if they're too low, just pick them up higher. If you start to warm up, take them a little lower. But keep your gaze fixed right down your midline. Find that abdominal work, and you can watch the abs expand as you inhale and sink as you exhale. We're just going for 1 more breath. And then fold your knees in, lay your head down, maybe rock your knees a little side to side, and we move into roll up next. So you stretch the legs forward, reaching out. The arms come up and they can even go back as long as they don't arch your low back higher off the ground than it already is. We lift the arms, we lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale and pull yourself forward, the shoulders falling behind you. Dive over the front of your legs, reach your head out between your thumbs. And as you come back, you roll the spine down 1 vertebra after the next. Curve your back into the ground. Keep moving slowly but smoothly. Take the arms back and yawn your body open to the sky. And we lift again, coming up. Exhale, coming high. Now, the higher the arms are, the more loaded it is from center, and the more you're going to work yourself here. So on the way back, you can try taking the arms a little higher. And then keep them more elevated as you go down. If you find that you are losing control, lower the arms for sure. And then coming up, of course, is going to be more difficult than going down. So you might have to take the arms a little lower, but challenge yourself to keep them at a higher angle as you move and bend over your legs. Stretch out the whole back line from your toes to your heels, to your sits bones, to your shoulders, to your head. And down we go again, rolling back, letting the spine sink. The abdominal wall releases inch by inch to bring your spine down. And then we'll circle the arms around at your side for what's called rollover. So if you've done jackknife in the intermediate mat, this is similar, only the legs start a little low. So we can pull the knees into your chest, pick up the legs, soft point with the feet. We're going to bring the legs up and over, bring them more parallel to the ground. You balance on your shoulders. Keep your gaze up. Do not look sideways when the hips are elevated. Now from this position, open the legs 4 inches, flex your feet, reach out through your heels, and then roll your spine down, press into your arms. So you create a little resistance. The lats are going to release you down, and then press your legs forward, still flex, still apart. Point the feet, close them at your working level. Working level means that you're still feeling in control from your core. You're going to bring the legs up and over, lifting the hips. You balance on your shoulders and not on your neck, equal weight across your shoulders. Open the legs, flex the feet. Imagine holding a ball between your arches. Hold another ball between your thighs. Squeeze in so you're aware of the inside line of your legs. And then you press the heels forward. Point, close. We do 1 more like this. So we're going up and over, lifting the tail up in the air, trying to keep the energy up through your hips. You're not compressing your rib cage. Now open, flex, and down we go. So we do 3 with the legs in that sequencing, and then we do 3 more with a difference here. So now I point the feet, you close the legs, you open the feet, soft point, and you go over with the legs apart. It's a little more difficult with the legs apart to do the lift. Flex, close, and imagine that your heels are stuck on the wall behind you. Try to keep them low to your body as much as possible. As you come down, getting length into the back of your body, stretch the legs forward, reach them out, point open. Here's 2 out of 3. Coming up and over, balance on the shoulders, so looking up at the ceiling. Now, be sure that here, as you flex and close the legs, you're not letting your gaze follow your feet down. You want to keep looking up and back at where the feet were so that your neck remains long as you lower the spine away and down the mat. So point the feet, bring the legs apart, and we go up and over again. Inhale to start, exhale to lift the hips up. Find that balance on your shoulders, the legs as low as you can make them. Close the feet, flex. This will really help stretch out the back line of your body. And then this part coming down allows you to work on controlling the body eccentrically, so you work against gravity to bring the legs forward and up to the ceiling. Now point your feet. We're going to take the left leg down and leave the right leg in the air. Flex the bottom leg, the left foot, you get there. And then you can lower that top leg. The right leg goes down and out, maybe to about a 30 to 40 degree angle, somewhere in there. We're coming up. This is a roll up with one leg in the air. So you lift your head, you look down the midline. This is called tree. You bring your left hand to the back of the right thigh. Your right hand comes up, avoid the back of the knee. You pull yourself up to sit as vertical as you can, right up on your sits bones. The hands come up, the shoulders stay down. Hopefully you're getting a stretch here. And then you would look down at your belly. You're going to start to pull your spine down first. So I'm not going to work down my hands and then fall backwards. You're going to think about moving the spine and then letting the hands follow down the leg, using the hand connection to the leg connection to the hand to feel more work in the center. The leg stays reaching out. The leg along the ground stays pressing down, and we lift to come up again. So you lift your head first, bending your neck, bring the hand forward, opposite hand to the inside of the leg first. Hold the legs in alignment with the hip, even though one is up and one is down. At the top, try to open the collarbones, let the shoulders fall, lift up through your halo. And we walk down again. So start with the spine. You curl the tail forward, you start to roll your back down. Now, it is going to be hard when you first learn this to keep the one leg on the ground. A lot of times people use like an ankle weight to hold themselves still, or they bribe their children to sit on their ankles and hold their body still here. If only we could train our pets to do that, right? So now that we're up, we're going to bend the elbows and give yourself a little pull. You lift the leg higher and try to keep your spine elongated. So it's also possible here, you may be bending the knee a little bit to bring it up and feel the good stretch in the hamstring. That's perfectly fine. We're working to try to improve the body, not of course damage it. That would be ridiculous. And you lift the leg up, and then we're going to eventually release the hands and pull the spine down. Meanwhile, you can take your hands to the legs if this is your first time doing it, or even if it's not the first time and you just want to do that, but taking the arms forward and reaching out through the fingertips as you lower down works you a little bit harder. Press the arms down, and now we move here into the advanced single leg circle. We'll come back and pick up tree on the other side after this. So bring the leg up to the ceiling. In the advanced version of this exercise, you cross the leg over, allow the hip, the waist, the ribs to spiral off the ground, but you hold the shoulder blade heavy on the right. Circle the leg around, and as the weight of the leg moves across center, it pulls the hip down. You hold the left side grounded as you pull that right leg out to the side and bring it up to the ceiling. And we do that again. So it's a careful spiral of the body off the ground from the hip to the opposite shoulder. And then you move from the shoulder to the opposite hip as you circle the leg out around and then bring it on up. And reach again. The opposite shoulder stays heavy. I'm not letting the scapula slide off the ground, but I am letting the ribs kind of move off of the scapula on the right side to really get that nice twist and reach into the leg, the nice twist and reach into the spine. One more. Circle over here. It's very controlled. So the right side is moving, but the left side stays stable. I don't let that come off the ground at all. Come to the top, and now we reverse. The leg goes out to the side. You hold the left side grounded. Feel weight there, and then circle the leg down around. And now the right side of the body follows the foot, follows the leg, comes up to the ceiling, and then drops down into the ground. And we reach it out, externally rotating. And you circle it long, push out into your foot, reach here, spiral the right side off. Remember, the left side is going to be grounded like it's glued to the mat. There is a little bit of like rolling onto the side when you pull the leg over, but you never let it roll off to the right. So the left side's going to stay on the ground when that right leg moves away from center. Let's just complete with one more circle here. Spiral off, lifting the hip. You're getting a nice twist in your spine. And then we circle. And we have to actually complete the circle up at the top. And from here, we scissor switch the legs. The left one is coming up as the right one goes down. They pass in mid stride. Flex the right foot. The left foot is in a soft point. Lower the leg here to an angle where you can lift your body in the tree. So you come up, lifting your head, looking down the midline of your body. Bring your right hand to the inside of the left leg, the left hand to the outside. Avoid the knee. Pull your body up. You're using your psoas muscle to pull the torso towards the leg and also hold the leg in the air. Hands go up as high as you can. Arms are straight. And then we start to roll back. Move your spine back in a C curve. You start with that pelvic rotation on the femur. You keep shooting the leg out long and you bring your body down to the ground. Hand after hand follows you to the floor. Stretch your arms at your side to open your chest. Lifting again, coming up, lifting the head. Look at your midline, right? So I'm not really going to look at the leg as I come up because that would tilt my body a little bit and torque it. Instead, I want to look straight ahead, except of course I'm looking at you all on the screen. And then we're going to take it back down. Keep lengthening out through both feet. Energetically, it's like each leg is a hose and there's water streaming from the hips down through the middle of the leg and out through the center of each foot. Arms press here and you stretch the arms long. Keep the shoulders away from your ears, coming up again. Last time. Pull yourself up. Come up and sit up tall. Try to arch your back a little bit. Try to perch right on your sits bones, even if that means you lower the leg a little bit. Right now, bend the elbows, pull the leg up. Feel a good, healthy stretch in the back of the leg. Do not get a feeling of too much pull at the sits bones or at the back of the knee. And we lift it. We press the leg away. Again, you can walk your hands down or you can more advanced, take the arms forward. Keep reaching out through your feet, through your fingertips, but drag yourself down with the work from your spine. The abdominal wall works to release you inch by inch. Go all the way down, arms down, lift the leg. We start the circles here. Now the left side is going to be the mobile side and the right side is stable. We cross the leg over, the left hip rises. We bring the leg long out and around, circle it low as you can while keeping the pelvis grounded. And we circle and reach. Now the hip is off and now it rolls back down. Circle it out and you hold the right side heavy on the mat like it's glued there. Keep lengthening out. Both legs stretch. Don't forget the leg that's on the ground. It's called your stabilizing leg. The working leg is the one that's drawing the circle in the air and reaching further and further out into space with every repetition. 2 more. And just like the earlier forms of this exercise, it's a short inhale to begin and a long, long exhale. So for example, we inhale for the first quarter of the circle and then you exhale, open the mouth, breathe out and keep the exhale going, 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 going until the very top. Pause here and reverse your circles. Inhale, out to the side, exhale all the way down, cross over, spin the left side of the body off the ground, pull it back down, and again, reach. So really your shoulder girdle is part of what they call the secondary skeleton. That stays on the ground. And the primary skeleton, your spine and everything attached to it, gets to flow off the floor and then back onto it. Let's reach again. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to finish this one up and do one last one. And your gaze would be fixed on a point like above you and maybe slightly forward. Lift the leg, and then we fold that knee into your chest, hug it in tight. And then we can pull the other leg up on a diagonal and rock forward and up for rolling like a ball. So we lift to come up. Fold the knees as you arrive. Hold onto your shins. Elbows are wide, spine is curved. Suck your belly back into the spine. Inhale, we lift the tail to roll to the shoulders. Exhale to come forward to your balance point on your sacrum. So keep looking down at your belly. Keep pushing the legs into the hands and the hands back into your shins. The inner side of your feet are pressing together to also engage the inner thigh line. And let's just do one more like that. Coming up, hopefully having drawn a straight line with your movement. Right hand to right ankle, left hand on the right leg below the knee on the shin. Extend your left leg forward, push the right shin up into your hands, roll your spine back here with control to your upper ab curl, elbows are wide, look down your midline. Inhale, switch your legs. You pull the left one in, left hand to the ankle. You switch, pull the right one in, right hand to the ankle. And we switch and switch. The legs go to your working level, which means that you're not displacing your spine. You can pull that leg in tighter as you stretch the other leg longer and out away from you. We're going to end with the left leg in, pull it tight, pull the right leg in to meet it, one hand to each shin. Now inhale, double leg stretch, arms and legs reach up and out, and then you circle the arms around to embrace the legs in. Most advanced version, the toes go down as the arms reach back, you skate the legs out, and then you circle and you pull them back in. I kind of ran into my equipment there at the end. So you would circle them out and then lift them, but the bar's in my way, so my legs had to stay low. Come back in and just do it once more. You can also just reach to whatever level works for your body, embrace it in. Remember to draw really beautiful circles with your arms, like really make that part of the exercise too. Scissors, right leg up, left leg forward, hold high on the ankle. We switch the legs and switch again. It's important to keep your gaze down so that your neck is lifted, but you're not feeling it in the front of your throat. The legs move here smoothly past each other. We'll end with the left leg up. Bring the right leg up to meet it. Hands come behind the head to support it. That's always welcome, though we know what's coming. Elbows are up and in. Engage your armpits, engage your upper abs. We push the legs away, double leg, lower lift. Reach out, reach long, exhale, and scoop the belly in. You drag your legs up with your deep psoas muscles here next to your spine, and then you press the legs away. Those psoas muscles pay out, and then they engage to lift the legs. Keep them straight if possible. If you can't, if the back line of your legs is tight, you would naturally then start to bend the knees a little bit as you lift them, and still look for the stretch in the back of the legs. Let's reach again. And exhale and pick the legs up. One more time here. Stretch it away. And exhale and lift. We're going into the twist, elbow to knee. So coming up and over to the right and then to the left. Pick your body up and really twist. Use the oblique abdominals. You want to be balanced on one shoulder blade while the other one is off the ground. Try to come forward so you feel that work in your upper abs. I know you do. We're ending to the left. Come back to center, stay high. Release the head, pull the knees in. And now we come forward and up for a spine stretch. So you can roll forward, and as you lift, extend the legs, open them. And in the most advanced version, we lift the arms up by the ears. Now this next part is non-traditional, but I always teach it because we need so much extension in our daily life. So look up, try to imagine your body is the toothpaste inside a tube. You're going to be pulled out, over, and back. So just the upper back falls over the tip of the blades. And then you come out of it. Exhale, palms are down, and you dive forward. Head, neck, shoulders, upper back, mid back, low back, dive. And then press down with your legs, press down through your sits bones and your tail, and you lift, arms by the ears, come to vertical, and then do an upper back extension like a seated swan. Just watch that you haven't gone back, opening the angle at your hips, because that'll put you into your back. Look down and round over again. The head leads the way, the spine flows and follows. You've done this exercise with the arms starting parallel to the ground before. This just adds a little extra load, and it makes you think a little bit harder about where your lower spine is as you lift up into an upper back extension. Forward, and we're going over one last time. Exhale, pounce over the space under your arms, above your legs. Dive forward here, stretch, and you can press your heels forward and suck your belly back into your spinal curve. Get a little stretch in your back if you need it. And now we're coming forward, pulling the heels together for open leg balance. Hands go to the legs. At the advanced level, the hands are inside the legs. If you still are practicing with the hands outside on the thighs, that's fine. Once you're on your balance point on your sacrum, the hands holding the inside of the ankles. We inhale, we extend the right leg up, stretch it here, shoulders are down, and then exhale, bring the heel down, connect your heels. Left leg, reach it up and out, and exhale down. That looks great, good job. And let's do the right again. I'm gonna see that again, it looks so lovely. And pull it back. The knees will be pretty narrow, maybe just slightly wider than your shoulders. And now you come back, and now we do both at the same time. So you're going to lift the legs. Now the hands might rotate a little bit. So the thumbs are sort of on top of the shin. The fingers are around to the back of the calf at the Achilles tendon. And then you pull the legs back in. Now the hands roll in a little bit. The elbows sort of pointing towards each other. Not the elbows, the wrist. And then going up the other joint in the arm. And then let's circle through here. Do one more. We're going to lift the legs. And now we actually roll. So you hold the legs here. I'm actually going to scoot forward a bit. And let's roll back. And exhale. And that was a good choice as it turns out. So look at your belly. Lift your tail in the air. Keep your head off the ground. Come up and find that balance point. Don't let the legs drop to the floor. Going back again. And exhale forward. One more like this. Try to keep the legs and the arms straight. Even if they slide a little bit on your legs, that's fine. Pull your legs together. And we're going to leave them in the air. If you had to, you can bend the knees and take your feet to the ground. More advanced, legs stay in the air as we roll down with our spine. Most advanced, the arms are free. We curl the tail up. You press your spine into the ground. You hold the legs where they are. Lay down on your back. And then let's fold your knees in. I'm going to slow this down actually right now because the next exercise, advanced corkscrew, can be very treacherous for people's spines if they're not really sure what's going on. So I'm going to just show you one first, right? So what would happen here is you're going to go up into your jackknife, legs in the air, and then you tilt your spine to the right, go down on the right side of the spine, circle the legs, come up on the left side of the spine, come to the top, touch center, and then you reverse it, going down on the left, circle the legs, come up on the right. The reason it's tricky is that if your spine is tilted and torqued and you aren't really in control, you can really hurt your back. So I just want to show you the picture of it. And then we're going to talk about how to get there. So you've done really nice flow for this first 30 minutes. And now let's just like workshop this exercise. So here's the advanced corkscrew. You reach the legs out and up. You jackknife up through center. Your legs go up high or, as low as you need to. I'm going to tilt my body. So now I'm thinking I'm going to go down on the line of muscle that's about 2 inches to the right of my spine. So I'm lowering down on that diagonal tilt. It's a lot of oblique work. I pull my hips to the ground. Now my spine is still centered, but it's on a slight diagonal, right? Tilted off the ground like I was in a tilt-a-whirl. And then I'm going to take my legs out to the right, forward. Now my spine's on center. I'm going to tilt to the left, pull out wide, but then you have to pull it in so that the load is acceptable for your back as you come up and you lift your feet up to the ceiling there. Then to go out of it to complete the rep, you tilt to the left. See how my pelvis is tilted, but the spine is still centered over the midline of the mat. You go down on the left side of the spine from the left shoulder blade to the left waist to the left hip. Once the hip is down and the back is safe, you can circle the legs down, around to the right, and then come up and you pull it back in and up to come centered at the top. I'm just going to come down through center. That was one rep. Here's how we learn it. So you start with in a shoulder bridge, arms at your side. And you guys can do this with me now. So we're going to curl the tail up, press through your feet, lift the hips high, push down through the top of the shoulders, lift the ribs up. Now from here, we're going to practice that tilt and moving the spine. So I'm going to tilt to the left this time so I can watch you. And I'm going down, my right hip is higher, my right chest is higher, the left side is lower. Roll down on the left side, keep the body centered in the middle of your mat, go down to the glute, and then push through your legs and come up, hold that tip. And then come back to center, and then tilt to the right. And then we're going down on the right side. Touch the glute down, lift the tail, coming up on the tilt, across to center, balance out the pelvis. So right now, both of the hip bones are in the same plane. When I tip, my right hip bone and my right hand are higher than the left. And as I go down, that stays the same. And then as I come up, I'm still keeping that right hip higher, the left one lower. Come back to center, tip in the other direction. You rotate your hips, your waist, your ribs a little bit. And then you go down on the right side of the spine. The left side is higher here. I'm keeping my hands on my hip bones, so hopefully you can see that. But you would not be doing that. Your hands are probably needed to press into the ground. Your arms are pressing into the floor. So now you're centered. Let's do it one more time. So you tip to the left, and go down on the left side of your spine. Go all the way down so the glute touches. And then you lift to come up, pulling it up, still on the tilt, center, and then tip to the right one more time, going down on the right side of the spine. Lower the hips down, and then pick it up, keep the tilt, come back, and your spine is now centered again, and down you go, roll it out, coming out through a regular bridge. So did that make sense? It looked like you got it. That was good, right? You just have to be very careful because once the legs are lifted and you're picking up your torso while you're doing that, if you're not 100% sure of what you're doing, it can go south really fast. So one of the things you could do to practice that next would be, I'm just going to grab a roller. You could use a block or a roller to elevate your hips. This is a safer way to practice it. So we start by having less load away from center. If you want to try it, that's great. If you want to wait and watch, that's also fine. So what we're doing here, you're laying on your back. You pick up your hips. You press your pelvis onto the roller. Fold the knees into your chest. Hold the roller still with your arms. And then you lift the legs up. You can take them a little low. Bring them up into your jackknife. So you come up. And now rotate the pelvis. Of course, this is rusty. And come down on the right side. Tap your hip into the roller. Do a small circle with your legs in the air. Circle around to the left. Come back in. The body's still on the tilt. Now to the left. And you push off and you lift. And then you're coming down on the left side. This takes a lot of the pressure off your back because you're not going all the way on and off the ground. Having the hips elevated means that you have a smaller range of motion. It's safer to practice it here. So we're pulling it back in almost all the way center. I push down, I lift up, center the pelvis. Now we go down on the left. You always go down on the side you just came, sorry, down on the right. You just go down on the side you just came up from, circle to the left. You go a little wider with the feet, pull them almost all the way in. As you come up, you want to end up tapping the toes right over your third eye and maybe center, and then you tilt to the left, go down on the left side again, circling here, draw a circle in the air, almost complete it, almost not quite, come up, complete the circle at the top. And since we started going down on the right, we're going to end coming up on the right. So now we just jackknife down, lower the hips down onto your roller, bend your knees, release down. So that's how you start working into that advanced form of the corkscrew. You've been doing the version in the earlier classes with the hips on the ground. This adds considerable difficulty and strength into the exercise. So that was good. I hope that helped. And we'll look at that, of course, again. So after this, we come down, we come up to sitting, the roller goes away, and we'll do saw. Same as usual, arms out to the side, stretch long through the fingertips, and we'll rotate to the right. The back arm, the thumb goes down, the palm reaches up, and then you press the left hand into the outside of the right leg, wherever you can, calf, ankle, thigh, foot, whatever. And you reach over, you're anchored through your left glute. Coming up, unwind the body, we spin, right hand to the left leg. Now try to really open the chest and look up and back at your hand. Lengthen out through the fingertips, keep the wrist straight. Lift to come up, center. If your hamstrings are tight, it would be easier to sit elevated on a block or a pillow, a cushion of some kind, a stack of books, anything. Lift to come up, center, and we spiral and we dive. The head leads you out and over on the diagonal. The pelvis stays glued to the ground like your sits bones bolted you into the floor. Lift to come up, center through here. Let's do one more set. Spiral, twist, reach, and lengthen out. Coming upright, center, go to the other side, dive, stretch, and lengthen. Pull your body long. Lift, center, and then lower the arms down. From here, close the legs together, and we turn over onto the stomach for swan. So once you flip over, your hands are here by your chest. Your head floats off the ground. You press the legs into the ground. You press the top of the feet into the floor. If you tend to cramp, you could roll a towel and take it under your ankles. Now, first, the idea here is you want to really pull the chest forward to lengthen the abdominal wall. Pull the elbows back and in, lift your chest, look up, and then keep looking up as you bring your spine down. Release and let the head lengthen forward, reach out through your halo, reach back through your tail. And again, try to slide the mat towards your feet so that you pull your chest forward, coming up and down you go again. And we'll do one more. And this time, once you're up, we're going to do what's called catch and release. So you pull the elbows back and in, pick up your chest. Now the hands rise. You throw the legs in the air. You catch yourself. You're going up and down like so. Trying to imagine your body is a rocking chair rocker. Do one more. And then down. And then let's sit back in a child's pose. Round your back, curve it. Now again, for that exercise, you can also do it with a roller. If you don't have one, I really recommend that you buy one. They're very useful. Pilates tools is actually really just from Feldenkrais, but they're great because of the instability. But in this case, it elevates the chest up a little higher. So it's easier for you to do a swan and a rocking swan too. So I'll just demo that quickly. So you would extend the arms out. The center of the forearm is on the roller. You pull the head right between the arms, pull back with the shoulders, lift the chest up. It's a lot less work. You're trying not to let it be about the elbow bending to pick you up, but about the lat holding you there. And then release the lat out to bring yourself down. And the rocking kind of goes the same way. You pull up, you push the roller away. Oh, I hit the equipment. I believe some of the newer equipment they make for tall people. Joe Pilates wasn't particularly tall himself. Anyway, so that's the idea. You can get that feeling of lifting and lowering the body. From here, I'm going to skip the single and double leg kick, and we're moving into a neck pull. Neck pull is a more advanced form of your roll up. It's more advanced because, number one, the legs are apart. So that means that you're not getting the inner thigh connection to help you feel more low abdominals, pelvic floor, which really helps support the low back. It's also more difficult because instead of the arms being forward as you're rolling up and down, your hands are higher up, so it's more load away from center. So we start with the hands at the base of the skull. You pull the head up, you try to lift your chest, pick up your ribs off the pelvis, hinge back in a plank as far as you can safely. And then this is important. When you feel like you're about to lose your form, you look down, you can pull the elbows forward, you can even bring the arms forward so you roll your spine down with control. And then to come up, if you can't come up in a roll up without having your heels lift, this is going to be even more difficult. So modify as necessary. The modification is the fist presses into the opposite palm. It's like a ball in a socket here. Think of a straight line from elbow to elbow. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders, look at your midline. Now squeeze in, push. That's going to engage your lats and help you find your external obliques. As soon as you're up, take your hands behind your head and dive forward, stretch the head out, not down, because we're trying to lengthen the spine, not compress the neck. And then float all the way up, coming upright. Feet stay grounded and flexed. And then you lengthen again, and we tip back, inhale. Exhale, lower it down. Remember, you can pull the elbows forward. You can pull the arms forward as necessary. To come up, inhale. Now we take the opposite hand into the fist. Lift the hand, coming up, push in, lift, come over. But I can tell I haven't practiced this recently. And dive over, stretch down, hang the head low, reach the neck long, and then articulate up, low back, mid back, upper back, head. All right, let's do just one more of these. So you lean back here, keep pressing out with the feet, try to anchor them down, stretch the legs away as you roll through your spine. Be sure that you have control on the way down, and then coming up, You lift, you exhale, and you come over. As soon as you are free to take your hands behind your head, do so. Pull the head over, try to stretch the length of your body over your legs, and then we come all the way up. We end on this one going back and down. We're going to move into shoulder bridge next. So we go down. Even though we started sitting up, we're going to end laying down, and then circle the arms down at your side. Here we go back into bridge. At this level, we're going to add kicks to it. So your feet are grounded. You want to think your feet are parallel and pressing into the ground, and then also trying maybe to push the mat under your tailbone. Press through your legs, press through your arms. Begin with the pelvic tuck. You press your waist down, the tail rises. You pull the tail forward, the knees go out over the toes. At like a beginner intermediate position, it's a plank here from your shoulders to your knees. At a full intermediate, you're pushing the top of the shoulders down and you lift the chest up. You use a lot more glute here to really open the hips across the top of your body. From this position, you pull the right knee into your chest. You lift the foot up to the ceiling. You point the foot and lower the leg down. You flex the foot and you pick it up high. So you point to go down. Maybe tap the ground if you can, flex to bring it up. Point to lower down, flex and lift. And then we bend the knee in, lower the foot, level off the pelvis in case it's dropped, which it usually does a little bit. And then we pick up the left leg, lift that foot up to the ceiling, and lift of the foot, help you lift your butt off the ground, keep it elevated. Point down, flex up. Point down, and eventually the goal is to tap the foot to the floor. You're probably not going to be able to do that and keep the pelvis elevated at first. Next time we lift the foot, we bend the knee, we lower the leg, right in position next to the other one, parallel to it, lift the hips up, and now we roll to the inner arms, feel the scapula slide sideways, roll your spine down from the top all the way down to the tailbone. Lower the tail down, you have the natural arch in your waist, and we begin again. We're just going to do a regular bridge here. So pelvic tuck, roll the pelvis forward and up. The knees go forward, and then you're going to lift up, push the shoulders down, lift the chest, find a lot more work in your glute. And now we're coming down. Open the back, knit the collarbones together a little bit. So your ribs sink down between your shoulder blades. You roll here from the upper back to the mid back to the waist, to the sacrum, to the tail, and the waist floats up. Once more, we are going to start with the kicks again once we're up, starting with the left leg. So we rock the pelvis, we move the tail up, we pull the knees forward, like the shins are being pulled by magnets to the wall in front of them. Come up, push the shoulders down, lift the heart, fold the left leg in, extend the leg up. Now here we flex down this time and point to rise. Flex down and point to lift. Flex it down, pointing up, bend the knee, lower the foot, square off the pelvis. We do our best to keep it cantilevered off the other side when you're up in the air. And then let's pull the right knee in, lift the leg, flexing the foot. Inhale, flex down, point the foot, lift it. Flex, tap it down to whatever level works for you. One more. Point, lift, bend the knee, lower the foot, hips elevate, hips are square. Gaze should be up. I keep looking at the screen to see how you're doing, but you shouldn't be doing that. And then we roll the spine down. Work it all the way down, curve your way down. Release the sacrum, release the tail. And we're coming up. We just have a few more minutes. So we'll continue through the sequence, go as far as we can, and of course, pick up next time. So let's roll forward and up to sitting. You pull both legs in, come up, extend your legs, flex your feet, move sideways if you need to avoid walls, and extend the arms out to the side. Now, if the arms are too far back, the chest will arch. So you want to take the hands maybe just even with the front of the sternum. Reach long through the arms here, push down slightly through the armpits to grow taller. And now we rotate to the right. Twist and pulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center and then to the left and pulse 1, 2, 3. We're really trying to work here, wringing out the waist and not just throwing the arms back and forth. Center and again. And you might remember some of my other classes, we've shown the variation where you take your hands on top of your head and then lift your head up into your hands and really feel that you're working from your waistline to get that deep core experience at the same time without shifting your feet so that your feet remain as if they were pressed up against a wall. After you feel that, extend the arms, try to work from the same spot. So work from your waist as you twist and pulse, and as you unwind and then go to the other side. And then we're back to center. You lower the arms, lay on your back, and now this is jackknife coming up. So we already did something similar at the beginning when we did the rollover. The difference is in rollover, the legs are low and we're doing opening and closing and flexing the feet and pointing the feet, all these different variations. Jackknife is just a leg lift into an inversion. So you can start with the legs down, but I recommend to protect your spine, particularly if you're just starting this class, we bend the knees. We pull the knees in, we extend the legs up to the ceiling. You can take the legs forward to whatever level your psoas muscles can support. And then we're coming up and over. So you lift the legs, inhale, exhale, pick up the hips. The legs might start low, but then you lift them as high as you can, opening the angle of your hips. You're looking up at the ceiling at where your toes are, so your neck stays pretty long. And then you're coming down, push into the ground with your arms, with your hands, work your back muscles to release down a little bit at a time. And then you take your legs out to your working level here. And then we're taking the legs up again. Inhale and exhale, push down, go up. Your body lifts like a flame. And then the toes are reaching with the ceiling, even as you come down, and press the legs out again. Use your exhale before you really need it. So you start lifting the legs. That's not so bad. Picking up the pelvis is. Exhale to come up and lift. You press down through the arms. Now I'm trying to look up and back slightly so my neck stays long. And then bring it on down here. Come down a little bit at a time. If you're still working on this exercise, you can definitely do it starting with the hips elevated on your roller or even on a yoga block. In order to work through a smaller range of motion, it's a good way to start this practice. All right, so now that we're down, looking at the time, we're going to skip the side kicks for today. And let's move into the teaser. So we're coming up again, rolling forward here. This is non-traditional. Traditionally, you start laying down, but I want your backs to be safe while we're working into this advanced work. So we're going to roll back a little bit onto the sacrum, pick up your feet, and extend the legs out. And even holding your onto the back of your legs, we're going to try to hold the legs where they are and roll back a little bit with your spine. And then come up. Slide your hands up your legs to get that feeling of moving the torso back and forth while the legs stay in the air. Bring the legs higher. If they're too low, that's going to be much harder on your back. Yeah, that's better. Lift to come up. And then you could practice it. You could try hands free, going down a bit. And exhale, squeeze the legs. Ooh, and then pull the lift. And then once you're up, we're going to practice here. Pull the knees in first, dive yourself between your legs to stretch out your back in case you overwhelmed it a little bit. And then come back and again, balance on your sacrum, extend the legs. Now the second part of this is you're holding the torso still and moving the legs. The first part was we held the legs in the air and moved the spine. Now we hold the spine still and the legs go forward a bit and then they lift. They go forward and you lift. Try to look in the camera. Right? See it on your screen. Can you keep your head in the same position while you take the legs down and up? That's it. Good. And then fold the legs in again. Again, round forward, take that little dive, stretch out your back. The grand finale, we're taking everything down at the same time and up at the same time. So find the legs maybe bent here, maybe straight. Arms extend out. You can slide your hands down your legs. You roll the spine down. You push the feet away. Toes at eye level. Pull them back up. And we do that again. So roll the low back down, press it out, and lift. In the full variation here, the arms are free. As you go down, the heels touch. When the tip of the shoulder blades touch, you lay your head down, arms at your side. You come up, upper arm curl, scoop the legs up as you lift your torso, and then you would press the legs away. Again, you have to get your heels down when you're still in an upper arm curl. Otherwise, it's way too much load for your spine. And then you come up, lifting head, neck, and shoulders. Pull yourself up here. There's your teaser. It's a great finishing pose. And then we fold the knees in and round over, stretch out your spine here. Take a bow because you did an amazing job working in your first advanced class. All right, perfect. So this is due on the schedule for this semester and moving forward, hopefully. So if you guys have any questions or any concerns, why don't you hang and I'll talk to you.